Serena. What has she been up to in Hoenn? Did she grow her hair long again? Did she succeed in pursuing her dreams? And most importantly, will she return to the Pokemon anime? Yes, I think so. But why do people care so much? Hello everyone, it's Charles. More than any other character, fans really seem to want Serena to come back into the Pokemon anime. I mean, there was even a petition to bring her back for the Sun and Moon anime that brought in over 35,000 signatures. There's no doubt that Serena and Ash are a popular pairing among fans, but we've already talked about the Ash and Serena romance, the Amourshipping, in another video which you are more than welcome to check out. Today, we are instead going to focus on answering two very interesting questions. Those questions are, will Serena return to the Pokemon anime? And, more importantly, why exactly is Serena so popular? Why do fans love her so much? This question in particular is an interesting one to consider, and I think it says a lot about the Pokemon fanbase. So, if you're interested, please subscribe, hit the bell icon for notifications, and let's jump right in. Firstly, let's address the big question of whether or not Serena is actually returning to the Pokemon anime. And then we can get into what I think is the most interesting question. What is the real significance of Serena's character in the context of the Pokemon anime? So, rumors of Serena's return to the anime started cropping up around the time that XYZ wrapped up, with a lot of hopeful fans pointing at her likely return in the Sun and Moon anime. There was certainly enough precedent for this in the series to think that Serena would most likely come back in Sun and Moon. For instance, Misty and Brock returned to the anime to meet up with Ash in Hoenn, May popped up again in the Diamond and Pearl series for the Wallace Cup, Diamond and Pearl's Dawn reappeared in Black and White, Silon even made it into XY to participate in a Kalos region fishing tournament. There had certainly been plenty of cameos from previous traveling companions in later seasons of the anime, and so fans have been very hopeful that Serena would get this treatment as well. And so the Sun and Moon anime progressed, and what do you know? Brock and Misty returned to the anime. And then Brock and Misty returned again. And that was great, but before we knew it, episode 146 of the Sun and Moon anime aired, and that was that. Sun and Moon came, and Sun and Moon went, with no sign of Serena. Serena just never appeared in Alola. But honestly, why would she? At the end of XYZ, she was embarking to Hoenn on a quest to make herself into a better person. So wouldn't it be a little quick to bring her back? Although, God knows how much time is passing or not passing in this crazy, distorted time vortex that the Pokemon universe exists in. Anyways, while Alola didn't really make sense, on the other hand, it definitely would make sense for her to appear in the series following Sun and Moon, Pocket Monsters, which started off in 2019, wherein Ash and his new travel companion Go travel around the Pokemon world to adventure across all previously explored regions. That would make sense, wouldn't it? Yes, it would. And what do you know? Very soon into the beginning of this new series, with the announcement that episode 7 would actually be taking place in Hoenn, people were anticipating seeing some Frontier Brains as well as Serena appear in the episode, since for all we know, she's still training there. Then December 29th came, and while the Glass Flute Cup competition was exciting, the lack of Serena was not exciting. Time passed and fans kept looking for clues that Serena will return, whether it was a Japanese magazine image of Go at a Professor Oak's summer camp, a summer camp that Ash and Serena both attended as well in their childhoods, or simply the fact that England and France are two countries in close proximity, and Galar and Kalos are modeled after those two locations, so that must suggest that the potential of Ash meeting Serena sooner or later is pretty high, right? I personally find these theories quite interesting, but I don't think the question of whether or not Serena will return really requires so much digging. The popularity of Serena's character and the simple fact that Ash and Go are going on a tour of all the regions explored to date simply creates the perfect opportunity to bring her back in, whether it be in Galar, in Kalos, in Hoenn, or elsewhere. Fans want her back, and this season is the perfect opportunity, so I think it's absolutely bound to happen, and it's just a matter of deciding which arc she will fit into. As we all know, outside of perhaps Misty, I don't think the popularity of any other female traveling companion can hold a candle to that of Serena. But this begs the question, why exactly do so many fans love Serena so much? I think that fans love Serena so much and want to see her back so much, not just because of her as a character, but because of what she represents to Ash and to the Pokemon anime as a whole. real romantic possibilities and maturity. The Pokemon anime is designed with a younger audience in mind, and it makes sense, but it certainly leaves older fans who've grown up as Ash has stayed the same age for years and years, longing for some kind of character development that we can relate to, and I'm sure a lot of younger fans are also looking for this. And I think this is exactly why Amourshipping has struck a chord with so many people. As we mature, most of us become interested in seeing romantic elements in the anime that we enjoy, and Serena was a character who finally added that element to the series, even within the constraints of entertainment mainly catering towards a very young demographic. And so Amourshipping and this whole fandom around the Serena and Ash romance has grown into what it is, not necessarily because of Serena herself, but because of what she represents. A move towards maturity in a way that fans have desired pretty well as long as the Pokemon anime has been around. And so when XYZ ended and Sun and Moon kicked off, and that whole aspect of the series just fizzled out as quickly as it came, was disappointing to say the least. This brings me back to that image that surfaced recently of a 33-year-old Ash Ketchum and a 34-year-old Serena married with kids. Although it wasn't real, it sent a ripple of excitement across the internet because fans, particularly older fans, desperately wanted to see real romance and more mature themes play a role in fleshing out the Pokemon world. However, only a really massive shift in either the tone of the anime or a shift to a new generation of characters would really allow parts of the series to thematically mature, at least as far as Ash is concerned. The first scenario certainly wouldn't happen, as it may alienate a very large portion of the fan base who tune into the show every week, the kids, but the second is more likely and could very well be the case a few years down the road, seeing as Ash and Go are now traveling around previous regions on what appears to be a sort of victory lap for the anime, preceding some kind of hard reset. Fingers crossed. The thing is that as long as young, unaging Ash is at the center of the series, we won't see anything between him and Serena or any of the other girls develop into a full-on romance because it's at odds with the targeting of the anime. And so when Serena does reappear, and I'd say she will reappear before Ash and Go complete their adventure, when she does return, I wonder how satisfying it will be if it's just for a short cameo, given all the build-up that took place over the course of XY and XYZ, the kiss that concluded that segment of the anime, and the excitement about the possibilities that has continued on for years after. If Ash is ultimately sidelined in favor of a new generation of trainers, whether it be his kids or another young group of trainers, I think that would create enough distance from the focus of the series for a romance to unfold. It could also even open up some very interesting options for side stories featuring a mature Ash and his waifu, perhaps even in the form of a comic book or a web series along the lines of Pokemon Twilight Wings. Side stories targeting fans who've grown up with the anime for years and who are longing for something that lays a little bit beyond the confines of an anime targeting kids. But alas, we are starting to get into the realm of wishful thinking here. The good news is, I think we can be almost certain that we will see Serena reappear in the anime. Her overwhelming popularity and the around-the-world adventure setup of the anime just makes it a natural choice for the writers. But if you're waiting to see the romance fulfilled within the anime, I'm sorry, but I think you are better off buying some doujin. But that is no reason to feel down. In fact, that's the beauty of Amourshipping, Pokemon shipping, fan fiction, and fan theories in general. Perhaps much more important than Serena and her return in and of itself, and whatever the writers choose to do with that, is the fantasy that we as fans immerse ourselves in, regardless of what is official or unofficial. And that is why I think Serena is so important to fans, because she represents romance, maturity, the fantasy that lives between the frames of the anime. And she exists almost as a symbol of our hopes for the series. Whether you love her or you prefer another Pokemon girl like Misty or May or Dawn, she is important because she sparks our imaginations and makes us think about the exciting possibilities for this anime that we all love so much. That's what I think, but what do you think? Are you hyped for Serena's return? Do you think that real romance has a place in the Pokemon universe? And imagining that it could become real, what are your best ideas for a romance-filled, more mature Pokemon story? Let's chat.